Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Focus on Liberia. My name is Dennis Jai, and we are broadcasting from Atlanta, Georgia. In this edition of Between the Headlines, this is when we have our special program. I am happy to play host to Mr. Musa Hassan Bility, who is joining me from the nation's capital. Mr. Bility, welcome to Focus on Liberia.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Dennis.
Thank you for coming. I've invited Mr. Bility so that we can talk about his run for the House, District number 7 in Nimba County, and also to talk about the new reconfigured, and rejuvenated CPP. So we can be talking all that. Mr. Bility, once again, welcome to Focus on Liberia. We are so happy to have you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
We want to welcome all our viewers from across the globe as we talk to Mr. Bility on his run for the House of Representatives. Businessman Musa Hassan Bility running for the House. And also, we're going to talk CPP. Mr. Bility, how are you doing? I learned you were recently in Nimba. Tell me, how you doing? How's family? How's Duko?
Yeah, I'm in Nimba all the time. I live in Nimba. I just come to Monrovia to take care of business, and always back on time. So I came back last night. The place is flooded. It's not easy right now on our people, but this happens once every maybe 17 years. But it's really serious.
I saw the video of the flood. It's like the entire road, right? Is flooded.
Secondly, right now, it's literally cut off because from Kanta, no way in. From Tapeta, no way in. From Kanta, the Yard River has crossed the water. The road. It bust the bank somewhere between Kosen Junction there and Yasno. And then from Tapeta, has also bust the bank. So last night at about around 8 o'clock, I had to go to Palm, and I took the way in the bush there and passed to Kosen, and I had to literally change vehicle, walk in the water, change vehicle just to make it to Monrovia. Yes, but it's quite tough.
And it's funny you say it happens every 10 years when the road is that bad.
Well, this one here has nothing to do with road though. This is a regular flood, nothing to do with it.
It's just nature.
Yes.
All right. So you don't blame this on bad medicine, right?
No, I say I'm just getting call that you need to your flyer has some mistakes in it. They put District 10.
Oh, it's District 7.
Yes.
Your district is District 7. So let me see where District 10 is.
Right on the flyer. I see it. Musa Hassan Bility, House of Representatives.
Oh.
District 10.
No, gotta be.
Just check right under my picture.
Okay. Oh, on the flyer.
On the flyer. That's what I mean.
Oh, okay. Okay, it's district number 7, people. It's not district number 10.
It's no, yes.
It's district number 7.
Yes.
Let's make that correction quickly. So I hope it may take time to adjust, but it's district number 7.
I understand. Yes, it's okay.
Right. All right. So let's go into it. I understand you are running for district number 7. Why are you running?
Well, it's part of our drive to fix the country, to unite our people, and I think it's a bold move because the manner in which our people politics have been done in our country based on different segmentation of our county. I think that this will bring a whole new dimension to how we do our politics, and hopefully we can change the way in which our people look at the leaders to choose. We can change the way in which our people look at the way the different. I mean, just everything. We want to be able to change the way the country is, make good laws.
What is that change you're talking about?
The legislature, for instance, I mean, they should be the moral conscience of our governing system. It is enshrined into the constitution the legislature's right to have supervision capacity over all the branches of government. As you can see, all other branches of government are subject to the legislative branch. That's why they call it the first branch. If that is broken as it is, you need to fix it. I mean, I believe the first place to fix, if you want to fix the government, is the legislature. So I hope that my involvement, my coming to the house will bring some sanity, and we'll try to make laws that benefit the country.
Okay. You say you also want to change the way our people look at politics and elect leaders. Elaborate on that a little bit.
Most of the time, the reasoning for the choices we make move on family, friendship. 90% of that is not based on substance. It's not based on what the person can deliver. Sometimes based on tribe, based on religion. We want to change that. So if you ask me, I'm Mandingo. Definitely, I am a minority tribe in my district, and therefore, attempting to be a representative in a place that I know that my tribe is in a minority, it's a bold move. But I think that it will make a bigger statement for our county and for our people. If there's someone who can do the job better than me, and let the people choose that person. But that choice should not be because I'm not a monoman or I'm not a Cuban. It should be that someone is more qualified than me, someone can do the job better than me. And I hope that that's the argument I want to bring on the trust. So far, the only argument I got against me is that it's my tribe, and I'm very confident that the people of District 7 are not buying that at this time.
Thank you. So let's look at District 7. For someone who is not familiar with District 7, I know District 7 include the two big cities there, Ban and Saclapie. But tell me about District 7 for the sake of my viewers here. Which area comprising District 7?
Oh, District 7 runs from, if you're coming from Ganda, it starts right there in a town called Nimba, about maybe 4 or 5 kilometers into the city. It runs through Saclapie. It goes to Banque. On your right, it goes all the way to Nyasai. It goes to Guangwi. Then they move on to Gawampa. And then it stops in Mela. That's the end of District 7 on that side. Then it goes to Tapetasa. It goes all the way to Peto. And then you can wrap it around Blue Valley. Move to Sakempa, all the way to the entire Zogbao region, and run into Ban, and then back to Saclapie. That is the area I just described to you.
All right. Beto is my man Vasiki corner town.
Yeah. Me and Vasiki, we are from District 7.
So generally, if you were to tell me more about District number 7, what is the general issues, let's say, what is the major economic activity? What does the people, what do they do mainly in District number 7?
Agriculture and trade. And that's why road connectivity is the number one issue in that district. Agriculture, they are hardworking people. They like to live on their own. They like to work for themselves. They like to survive on their own sweat. As I speak to you, the agricultural hub of Nimba is Blue Valley, no access. It's been over 15, 20 years, Vigo has never entered Blue Valley. This year, December, Vigo will enter Blue Valley for the first time. And you will see the difference in the Saclapie market, in the palm market, in Tapeta, because fresh fruit, banana, Edo, pineapple, pool. I mean, they have everything there, but unfortunately, it doesn't easily come this way. So we'll make their life easier. We'll bring relief to them, and I know, as a matter of fact, that the main issue in the district there is connectivity. And then there is the issue of electricity, but that is going that is improving. Secretary has electricity. Ban has electricity. We also have issue of banking. I am currently in discussion with EcoBank, trying to make sure that we have a branch, in Secretary, where the people of District 7 can be served. So, telecommunication, we still have like maybe 50% of the district not covered by network. Hopefully, when we get into the house, some of the laws that we're going to amend is to make telecommunication a right under our law. Every citizen must have access to telecommunication.
The incumbent for District 7 is Pastor Roger Doma. He's from the Ganta area there, teacher in the Methodist school. He's a popular guy. Why would citizens of District Number 7 pick you over Roger Doma and your other competitors?
There was a report last week on the performances of the legislators for the last 5 years, based on the promise that they made. Roger made 8 promises. He has only fulfilled 1. No explanation as to why the rest have been fulfilled. Under him, the health system has broken down. He has signed on the 5 budget, and each year he has signed to reduce the amount of money that is allocated to our health system, the Barn Hospital, the Secretary Hospital. He has effectively presided over the reduction in social services to our country. So hopefully we will change that. Hopefully the country is the district is struggling. As a citizen of District 7, I am struggling to see what is my representative presence. I'm not asking him to be a bridge. I'm not asking him to do what executives will do, but he should show me what he advocated for in the budget and ensure for the district. 0. We can't repeat that. That is the central point of Nimba. If that place is not moving financially, economically, we're not booming with economic activity, where the country is not going to go anywhere. You cannot have access to almost 60% of Nimba country unless you pass through District 7. That district has to be accessible, it has to be marketable, it has to be friendly, it has to be business friendly. But I guess, and worst of all, if you have all of these activities going on, and there's no comment. When Roger came to office, Secretary used to receive, the hospital used to be 250,000. Right now, it's receiving less than 80,000. You don't think that he needs an explanation on a budget that he signed?
How is that his fault?
He signed onto it. He approved the budget and collected $30,000. I would never have held him responsible if he had gone on record to say this budget does not serve my district, therefore I'm not signing on to it. He was elected by the people. First and foremost, it is their interest that you have to seek. You cannot hold him responsible for what he cannot change. But his position is what we're holding him responsible for.
Okay. You said, you were quoted by the Observer say, look at what is happening in the legislature. Look at how embarrassing that is. Look at the country. And this is why I'm running. You continue, there is no check and balance in our system. Those before us have made it difficult. They have disappointed all, but all I can say is that I will never be like those before us. They have let us down. What are you going to do differently?
Number one, today, people in the executive branch of government officials are doing things, non-performances all over. There's no check and balance. We are required to summon government officials and ask them for specific performances. The budget, there's nothing. This legislature have never had a budget review, a budget report from the Minister of Finance. They keep, signing onto it. There's no budget report. There are things that are happening. There's no accountability. As far as they are concerned, they cannot show anything. But look at them trying to pass a law that literally usurp the function of the executive and dismiss magistrate. Are you kidding me? 14 months of election? Clearly, that has motive. That has motive. So it's embarrassing when we have legislators that are receiving $30,000 to some budget and cannot account for it. It is embarrassing. When laws are passed with no accountability, everything there is wrong. We have to fix it. The framers of our constitution deliberately put that constitution in place so that those in the legislature can hold everyone else accountable. Today, that's not happening.
Right.
You never have one public hearing regarding the performance of a particular government official.
You are party chairman. Have you tried to do that to hold your legislator, your lawmakers accountable?
Of course. That's why today I don't have a lawmaker. Because I'd rather not have you than have you on my book and you're not being accountable to me, to the party, and to the Liberian people. So we don't have any lawmaker today. We remove all of them from their position. We have no lawmaker at the party. That's the reason.
What was the process?
Our decisions and our actions are very deliberate.
What was the process in removing them? What did they specifically do?
The party is very clear. You have to pass through certain processes. You have to be disciplined to pay your due. You have to listen to the party on certain decision processes. And they never held on to none of those. So we did everything legally.
All right. Normally what we see in Liberia is someone like you will start with some projects in the area, and later on people will come look at what you've done in the area, and then they start to petition you. You accept the petition, and boom, you're running. This has been the trend. How is your case different?
Well, my decision was deliberate. It's not just because the people petitioned me. I studied it. I felt that it was the right thing to do. Whether or not the people had petitioned me, I was going to run. I think that it's very, very important for me to make that clear, that my decision was very deliberate. The petition gave me an idea of what the people think, but the decision to jump into the ring to change the way our country was working, no way. I was not going to let that go. It is time. It is time. And my experience at the national level tells me that we focus too much on the presidency, and then we even try to break the opposition for that. Because some of us feel that just as the presidency is important, those who make the law that guides every one of us are even more important. So, we want to do things differently, but the decision was deliberate. Not because the people petitioned me. If I didn't believe in it and the people petitioned me, I would have said no.
And also, you have made privatizing state-run enterprises a central point in your campaign. What does that have to do with your district?
Say that?
So you said you want state-run enterprises, state-owned enterprises, those SOEs to be privatized. And so I said, but what does it have to do with District Number 7?
Look at
And you are
LEC.
making a central point of your campaign.
Look at LEC. From the in Nimba County, LEC is privatized. The best service, social service in the whole country is the LEC service in Nimba. That's the only example I can give you. The LEC service in Nimba is not compared to anything. So if you do that to the rest of the private service, imagine doing that to water. Imagine doing that to all the other, services that government is providing. Imagine privatizing the port. Do you know how much Liberians are struggling to take their goods out of the port? Imagine making that private.
I was looking at that, and someone said Musa a businessman. That's why he's talking about privatizing. So he's all about the money. What do you say to that?
No, I'll say no. I'll say no. Businessman is not just all about the money; it's all about the result. And indeed, government agencies that are designed to make money should be treated as business, because then they will plan, they will execute with the intent of making profit. The difference is the profit for this entity have to be the quality of service they provide to Liberian people. That is their profit, but there has to be profit. So you model it like a business. The profit output may be different, while the business put out cash as profit. SOE, good service, reliable service to the people becomes the profit. So that's how I think you run government. That's the country that you are in. That's why America runs so perfectly well. Everything is private. The water, the light, the telephone, internet, the housing units, everything is private. The government is just a regulator. Adam Smith, the great economist, see the hands of government is dirty. Hands off the system. So for me, you have to adapt the Keynesian economic style to change Liberia from where it is. Just imagine we have 21 yellow machine in Nimba. It is under government control. It does nothing. We have 11 privately. See what we are doing in Nimba. Imagine the county taking that 21 machine, hire a private firm to run it and fix it. A lot going to happen. A lot going to change. So privatization, the examples are there. The whole of Europe, America, the best economies in the world are based on privatization. So what I'm saying is not a new invention.
Okay. So what do you see as an uphill challenge for you as you run for the seat?
My tribe, and hopefully I'll overcome that. Nothing else. My records as a citizen of Nimba, my contribution to my county, my contribution to my people, my citizenship record in terms of being a good citizen, everything is there. They all can speak for me. The only negative I have is my tribe. A negative that I cannot do anything about.
How so? Why is that so?
It's unfortunate that over the years, politicians have used tribe to divide the people of Nimba. And that's what we are suffering from, and that's what we're trying to recover and bring a county where you and I look at each other. Take UNICO, for instance, in America. They've elected all the various tribes in the past to head the organization. It is because the people of UNICO, the Nimbayan living in the US, have seen and realized that when you are out of Nimba, you are not seen as a Madingo man, as a Manu man, or Gio man, or Kran man, or Bassa man. You are seen as a Nimba, and they act like that. We have to take that and bring it to our country.
Let's talk about you are not the name Musa Bility. Someone will say is for you are not always free from controversies. People that are criticizing you, your critics, is saying Musa has issue with FIFA, he has issue with RIA, and so these are some things that people are talking about you. Are you hearing them, and what is your response to those who say?
But Dennis, that's why you and I. That's why you're a journalist.
Mhm.
What issue I have with RIA? I don't have no issue with RIA. I'm a free citizen in this country. No one, I mean, I can't stop people from saying negative things about me, but that doesn't make it true. If you follow the history of FIFA, you will know that it was because I stood up against FIFA. FIFA acted against me in 2019. Guess what? They say I did something in 2012. What does that tell you? When I said to FIFA in the morning of Monday and say, what you just did, you want to take over CAF, I will not allow you. I will take you to the court of arbitration. When I had an interview with BBC on Monday, FIFA suspended me on Wednesday. But the crime they say I committed, they say 7 years ago. Remember what they say I committed a crime in 2012. But at the same time, I was elected to the executive committee of CAF. I was the third most powerful person in CAF, which require a background check. And they clear me and elected me.
So how do you clear your name in this whole FIFA
It's a whole
thing?
process. You have to look. First of all, you have to understand that FIFA is not an organization that adhere to normal legal processes.
Okay.
You understand? It doesn't have a code that you can clear your name in. It's not subject to any code. In fact, it is written in the FIFA statute that if you get issue with FIFA, you can't go to court. You have to deal with it internally. So that's all I can do, to deal with it internally, which I'm doing.
Right, because internally this was money meant to be spent in Liberia. So how are you dealing with it internally to clear your name in Liberian court? That
No, there's nothing in Liberian code, and Liberian FIFA is not subject to Liberian code. And the Liberian Football Association has been audited 4, 5, 6 times after I left. There's nothing that in fact, after the audit, the auditors found that the Liberian Football Association were owing Musa Bility $224,000. I had to write a formal letter to the Liberian Football Association to say I waive this money to you. Those are records, and I will send it to you. You know, while we are online here.
So I want us to change to another subject. That's on the CPP. But before we do that, what is your message for those in District 7 that you want to tell them, or in few words, why should they elect you over your competitors?
I will change the way our district looks. Our district will be the center of attention in our country. Through our district, other districts will be saved. Through our district, legislative leadership will be changed. Through our district, people will respect lawmakers. Through our district, lawmakers will do their work for which they were elected. And through our district, our country will once again be a place of unity where tribes, religion will not matter.
Before I even move on, you see that has one person in the house. What can you do? You I think you watch Honorable Yaka Koluba. You know, sometimes what he's going through.
Stop.
How are you going to be different? Or you going to sometimes do what Yaka is doing?
No, I'm not. No way. But stop. Number one, as chairman of the CPP, I will elect sufficient lawmaker in 2023 to make sure that we are in the majority in that place in Chiche. That's why I'm chairman of this. That's my charge. I'm not just jumping out to say I should be the lone warrior. I'm not a matter. No, CPP is going to have the majority of members of the legislature. Either directly or indirectly, we will have the majority members of the legislature. We will.
Let's go to CPP. Let me first start with the Liberty Party. Right now, I kind of lost track following Liberty Party because there were too many things about the chairman, the political leader, and all that. Where is the Liberty Party now? How does the party structure look like?
We're fine. I think you can see that we're fine. About the Liberty Party, there will be no CPP. The fact that there's a CPP, it means that there's a Liberty Party on our.
Who's the political leader? Who's the chairman? Who are those in charge?
We are speaking to both right now. I'm the acting political leader until October 1. By October 1, the position of political leader will expire. And then we will not have a political leader anymore until we elect a president, no matter how long that takes. That's going to happen.
So right now you are both the chairman and the political leader.
Yes, the acting political leader.
You don't see any problem with that?
What is wrong with that? The Constitution says in the absence of the political leader, the chairman will become acting. That's what the Constitution says. It's temporary. I just told you, in the next 35 days, that position will not be anymore.
Right now, what's the strength of the Liberty Party, especially if you have Senator Dillon, Senator Yombly Kanga? I think, according to you, they are no longer part of the party.
Who is no longer part of the party?
Senator Dillon, Senator Yombly Kanga.
But what you say?
I don't know. Yes,
how you will say you don't know? Liberia is a country of law. You have a CPP. A collaboration cannot be formed by one party, right?
Right.
So how you will say you don't know?
Some are saying the collaboration now will come to that is a one and a half parties. The LP now is half.
There's no such thing as 1.5.
Okay.
So why would you even allow that to be an issue? At some point in time, you as the guard, the watchdog, fourth estate, so that you can be sense into people by just laying bare the fact. We have a Liberty Party. The Constitution of the Republic of Liberia made it very clear that the Election Commission is the one that has the right to decide who is a party, who is not a party. Election Commission has done that. We have a CPP in the Republic of Liberia today because there are two parties. And that's all.
All right.
We are CPP.
Yeah.
One party cannot make CPP.
So
collaboration cannot be used by one person.
In fact, two parties to make a collaboration. Yeah, it happened, but that's too small. I hope you have more.
More coming. I promise you there are more coming.
Okay. So now we have the CPP. We all witnessed right before our eyes the disintegration of the CPP, and now you are trying to put back together this what that look like Humpty Dumpty now. What were the issues that gave rise to the disintegration of the CPP, and what have you done to put it back together?
I mean, when you use the word Humpty Dumpty, I don't know what I want you. You gotta break it down so that I can answer.
No, that's from Akidon Garden. The Humpty Dumpty that fall, and people were trying to put it together. So the CPP fell apart. They were in cold. They were throwing the kitchen sink at each other. Two parties left. So what were those issues that made the CPP to disintegrate? And what did you do now to put everything back together?
Leadership decision making, meaning that the CPP was created on a faulty assumption that the parties are going to agree on who is going to be the leader. That was faulty. Agreeing first before going to collaboration as who will be the leader is important to the survival of the collaboration. Today, when you come to the CPP, you want to join us, certain things are non-negotiable.
Like what?
The issue of the standard bearership, non-negotiable. The issue of who is the chairman for CPP is non-negotiable. Then we can discuss all other things. So we try to deal with it.
Is that why you're trying to decide these things before allowing other members in?
Yes, to avoid confusion. Yes, correct. At the end of the day, we have to learn from our experiences.
Right. So what did you put in place now to avoid what happened before? Number one, you just close the gate on the people.
In the CPP framework document, we open a room for the door for other members to join. They can be part of the executive committee. They can have legislative seat. They can be part of decision-making processes. But the issue of standard bearership is the one that brought us on our knee. We decided that before, anybody can come in. So you want to join us now?
How democratic is that?
What?
How democratic is that? That you close the door?
Decision. The two of us, we agree on what to do, and we tell people this is what we have done. You have the right to agree with us, or you don't have to. You don't have to agree with us. I think that is more democratic.
Right, and from what we saw in the breakup of the CPP, the ANC, for instance, was accusing Mr. Boakai of that kind of spirit that, hey, I feel that I should be, that spirit of entitlement. Now, what you have done is to coronate your political leader before anybody else comes in. How is that different from how Mr. Boakai was feeling about the leadership of the CPP?
No, Mr. Boakai, the leadership of the CPP, Mr. Comey was very clear. He wanted to go to convention. He wanted to go. Yeah. The Unity Party and the ARP didn't want us to have convention. So they did everything to abort
That's
it.
why we're expecting the new CPP to go to convention.
No, but they even the old CPP, we are going to convention. We're going to convention.
But
even
that's ceremonial, right?
Yeah, but what we did in the OCPP was available in the news in the OCPP. What we did in the news people is a consensus first.
Right.
When you fail in the consensus process, then you go convention. But we didn't fail in the first step.
I mean, how are you going to fail? You're not going to fail because it's like pre-planned, right?
Then the
Liberty Party was not putting.
I can run for president for Liberia.
No, you can run, but already Liberty Party was not putting forward.
Liberty Party did not have ambition to run. We did. So in the consensus process, we agreed to take the chairmanship. We agreed that after the election, the collaboration will ensure that Liberty Party will get a speakership and a pro tempship. So we gave something and we took something.
Right, and that was one of the controversial issues in the previous framework document, right? That people
exactly. So that's what we try to.
I don't agree with me here. You don't know where I'm going. People are looking at it that you are dividing jobs. We still see the same job division in the new CPP.
Where is the job division?
If we do this, Liberty Party get the pro tem, you get the speaker, ANC get the you get the presidential presidency.
No. Job division is only in the executive chief. You don't divide legislative seat. When we say that we will get more people, it means that we are going to canvass. We don't get to determine who becomes speaker.
So why
we cannot allocate the speakership? All we said is that when the legislature is determined by Liberian people, right, the CPP will stand together to canvass for one person to be speaker. It doesn't necessarily mean that person we have divided and taken a speaker job to give to that person. We just decided instead of everybody in the CPP going helter scatter, we say we will come under one umbrella to run.
Right.
You know.
And why can that be democratic?
It's different from saying they may get finance minister, this minister, this minister. We didn't say that this time around. In fact, if you read the CPP framework agreement, we said the president will draw his cabinet from among Liberia across all aspects of our society.
So why not open that for election? So you have, let's say you have 50 CPP members. Why are you designating a particular political party to say only
there's
this
nothing wrong with that? That's why you carve the word called a consensus. So ANC say we want you to designate for us the standard bearer position. The Liberty Party say okay, then designate for us the speakership position. Remember, both the standard bearer and the speaker say, we still got to go and fight for it.
Yeah.
But what we are saying is that instead of Liberty Party going to run for president and ANC going to run for president, we say no. Let's support ANC to run for president, and then we'll support Liberty Party to run for speaker. There's nothing wrong. That's part of democracy. Once people agree, once two people agree, that's democracy. We cannot define democracy in a small, in a way that it suit just a certain ideology. Democracy is a form of leadership where the people agree how to govern themselves.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be
we also saw that three people, it was Yombli Kanga, Benina Ure, and Joseph Boaka, three people were agreeing, in the previous CPP, and Mr. Cummings had issue with that.
But Yombli Kanga is not Liberty Party. ALP may have agreed.
Right, the same way, and now Musa Bility is not Liberty Party.
Well, I'm not speaking. I've never made any decision as Musa Bility.
So who made the decision?
I made as Liberty Party. You see, it's different.
Let's look at your framework document. I like they say the framework document of the collaborating political parties, Alternative National Congress and Liberty Party, Republic of Liberia has amended August 18, 2022, and you see that you notarize it and all that. We had this problem with the notarization before. Is this the original copy? Is it a color copy or?
Well, I'm sure you follow our program. We verify all of that before Liberian people to avoid headache. We call each person to say, is this the original copy? Is this your signature? So everything is on video now. So we learn.
And where are you keeping that copy? Because before you didn't even have any sense. We were even confused which one was the original copy. So how did you address that issue?
We as you saw that day, we made 5 original copies. 1 to Election Commission, 1 to Liberty Party, 1 to ANC, 1 to the chairman of CPP, and 1 to the standard bearer of CPP. And everybody got a copy and signed for it. I signed for money.
So this time you don't have Mo Ali on motorbike to carry the signature to it?
No.
I'm kind of a little baffled though, because with the kind of credentials that Mr. Cummings continue to show us, that he will be part of this, coronation. You didn't allow people in to come and kind of debate the issue, have primary, and do this thing. And right there, just 2 political parties. You want more parties to come in, but you are closing the door before even they come in. It's kind of rubbish.
Dennis, excuse me.
Yeah.
I'm
just being honest. That's my.
Yeah, no, but you are not being fair and you are not being objective. I know you are being honest, but you are not being fair or objective. Here are the facts. The facts are that, number 1, Mr. Cummings was duly elected at a national convention by his party as a standard bearer of the ANC.
Yeah, that was some coronation again. But go ahead. I said that was some coronation again, but go ahead. We don't see primaries in these political parties. Mr. Cummings continue to fight for primaries, but to the leadership, to the standard leadership of ANC.
I made a statement to you just now, and I want to go back to that statement. You are defining democracy in a very narrow prison.
Okay.
So, but I'm saying to you that democracy is also when people agree without argument. It's democracy. The partisan of the ANC agreed without argument. Forcing people to go into competition, is that democratic? No, I disagree. The ANC went through all the processes. They are happy with their leader. They don't see any reason for anyone, don't see any reason to compete with him. And they chose Mr. Cummings in the most democratic possible. After the election, You never heard anyone saying that he was not gay. Yeah, he was not given the opportunity. How do you want to? How do you want to define democracy?
I give that to you. Let's look at your CPP
You.
new document, right? Explain this to me. And I will read it so that you can. I was not clear on some of these things. So
I'll make it clear for you. I'll make it anything you want to make clear. I'll make it clear for you.
Right. So it says.
And thank you for asking.
The CPP legislative candidate selections. The National Election Commission of the two constituent political parties and the CPP Standard Bureau agree by consensus that the legislative seat of Speaker and Senate pro tempore shall be for the LP. In the event that the Vice Standard Bearer is selected from the LP, the position of Senate pro tempore shall be for the ANC. You can leave something there for me too when I bring my party, but anyway.
But John,
the CPP, and this is where I have my confusion, right? The CPP legislative seat shall be distributed as follows. A, senatorial incumbency reserved for ANC. 1. Incumbency reserved for LP. 2. Let me stop there. Explain what that means. Incumbency reserved.
Those are current positions that are occupied by ANC and up for election in 2022.
Okay.
And the Democratic Party. That means in the Senate, there is one incumbent.
Right.
That is up for ANC and 2 for Liberty Party.
Liberty Party.
Those are not up for competition.
Right. So if my party joined tomorrow, and I already have an incumbency in the Senate, is that seat up for grabs as well, or is reserved for my party?
So as long as it is not, you see, what I've told you is that democracy is giving the people the opportunity to make a choice. Yes. Anyone joining CPP right now will be at liberty to read the framework document.
Right.
If the state choose to join us based on what they have read, it means that they are comfortable. And by the way, we have 2 parties that have written us to join.
Yeah, no, my question here is, I have Dennis party joining tomorrow. Currently, I have 3 incumbent seats in the Senate. So if I join tomorrow, my 3 seats, are they reserved for my party or they can be vied for?
So if you have seat in the Senate that has not been occupied,
my party have those seats already. My party have those seats already. Let's say
that's fine. That's okay. Yeah. You will be entitled to that.
So are they reserved for my party?
You got to join first.
Yeah, so I joined today.
The joining is not automatic though. When you come, I told you, the first day I want you to do Dennis, when the Dennis Liberation Party comes.
Yeah.
Yes. If the Dennis Liberation Party can want to join CPP.
That liberation, it sounds like cassette party. So say
okay. Okay, Dennis Redemption Party. Or Dennis Patriotic Party. So you come, we'll give you the framework document.
Right.
As of today, this is where we are.
Right.
If you want to join us, here we are. This is us.
Mr. Bility, you're not answering my question.
You can just pass and go somewhere else.
Right. You're not answering my question. Because you are not opening the door if Dennis Redemption Party joins and I already have incumbent. Will those seats be reserved for my party?
I said if that incumbency is already not occupied by another incumbent that is already part of the CPP, yes, right. You will have it.
Right. But it's not part of the framework.
No, that's why every time a party joins, we have to amend the framework because we gotta negotiate.
That means that every week you will be amending because.
But we're not receiving party every week.
Okay, then let's look at the 2. Then it says after the incumbency, it says ANC 3, Liberty Party 7, other constituent and affiliate members 2. What does that mean?
Exactly. So if people come, we left. You know, I don't think you read a document.
I read it. I didn't understand this part. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, because we left some for people to come. That is why you got the other constituency parties.
No, but that's not incumbency. I was talking about, my first question was about incumbency.
Yes, so, incumbency as it is.
If Unity Party comes back tomorrow, there are some incumbent Unity Party senators. Will they retain their seats, or will those seats be up for grabs?
Give me the back. You know, but I don't want to talk about the supposition is too far-fetched. Give me something more realistic.
I use Daniel Redemption Party and you stay
exactly. I will take Daniel Redemption Party, but I will not take the party. If Daniel Redemption Party comes and they have a certain senator in Maryland,
right,
we will give it to them.
Okay, but please make that, please amend and put it there.
Because I'm not a man. You have to come
as of now. That is not there.
You have to come because each amendment, when you come, we got to sit with you and make a deal with you. And once we sign an MOU with you, and then we'll go back to amend our document to reflect the changes. Even with the MOU, that would be enough because these are just allocation for parties. We're very flexible, but we don't want confusion. We've had enough of confusion. We have a leader that we satisfy with, that we know will change this country. And therefore, your people can do whatever they want to disrupt this process. We have got the numbers of people who are trying to disrupt us. We're not allowed them to disrupt us. We're capable, and I want to say this, the ANC and the Liberty Party were capable to deliver this election. And Dennis, we will deliver this election. We'll deliver. We'll win the election. You take this recording and keep it.
And let me get it clear. Are you open to the Unity Party or the Liberty or the ALP rejoining the CPP?
No. This is my personal opinion, but no. If I have to bring those two parties back in the CPP, because it's a reservoir for confusion. I don't want no more confusion. My brother, in life, you have to learn to move on. You have to learn to understand. Look, what I'm open to when it comes to the United Party and the ALP is for all to sit down and say, look, we are all opposition. Let's be civil to one another. Let's respect one another. May the best opposition win. And if that person win in the first round, we all will get behind that person in the second round. I'm prepared for that. But the thing that will make me, we're not jokers. There's no time left. Where are you coming from? We cannot get anybody now to say we'll go decide again who will be standing up there and another. By the time we wake up in the morning after all the confusion, the election is over.
So no way for Liberty Party, for ALP Unity Party, no.
Huh?
I said, so no way for those two parties gone.
We will be considered jokers if we bring those people back. They tarnish us, they hurt us, they humiliated the opposition. They put us in a position where we are backward today. We have our work cut out because of these people. We will not repeat that mistake. We will work with them. They are part of the opposition family. And at the end of the day, we will do everything we can to work with them. But the part that say they will come back, then as you say, you know you don't mean that. You just asking me that question because you want to ask the question. You know you don't mean that. Because at the end of the day, what are they coming for? If they come back, then why did they leave the first place?
They said family stake can bend. But it
was not a family stake. It was not a family stake. You know, at the end of the day, at the end of the day, what happened was not right, was not proper. And therefore, it created so many problems. But now, it's different. It's different. We are happy, we are prepared, and we are moving on. We will not put our partisans through the same thing again. They went through so many things, both Liberia and America. Dennis, here's what I'm about to do. We're going to create a CPP Americas, CPP Europe, CPP Africa, CPP Asia. We're going to get Liberians to form themselves to support Alexander Cummings' presidency. And they will come in this country. We will bring them in Liberia to come and talk to their people in their villages, in their towns, and make sure that they register. And we will change this country. We can't stay like this. It's not about me anymore. Is this the country that I want to live for my children? No. All of us, including myself, we have to change.
Yeah.
We all have to change, but we can't keep this country like this.
Let's talk briefly about.
We have one person who has distinguished himself. If we are a true patriot, and we can choose leaders by example of service and record, should we be arguing here whether or not Alexander Cummings should be president? Is this an argument? When America talk, your shake. When America talk, we take. This man succeeded in America. In the face of everything that black people face in America, he went to the very top. That's what we want in our country. Minus all the negativity, minus all the petty politics. If we are true patriot, if we are true Liberian, could we want anybody else to be president right now more than this man? Let's be frank. Who is on the table right now that has even half of the record that this man got? But this is Liberia. We can argue. We can argue. We can talk tribe. We can talk. We can bring division that don't even exist just to oppose people. So it's nice. But if it is about this country, if it's about trying to change this country, Alex Cummings has no match. Because you choose people based. Dennis, you choose people based on record. If you're going to choose Joseph Boakai, you're going to choose Joseph Boakai not for anything else except for the 12 years he was vice president. If you're going to choose George Weah, you will choose him for the 6 years that he has been president. If you will choose Alexander Cummings, you will choose him for who he has been before he decided to come and run for this country. If you take any other route to make your choice, it is faulty, it is wrong, and it is unpatriotic.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the voice of Musa Hassan Bility. He is both the chairman and political leader of the Liberty Party and also the chairman of the CPP. Please, the phone lines are open for you to call and contribute. The number is right there on the screen. That's 3605-313-6004. The code is 791-403. Mr. Bility, let's talk some national politics. There have been things happening in the country. You know, I saw July 26th violence. We saw the sanctions. We saw all these things. What is your assessment of of what's happening in the country, and how are you prepared as CPP? I believe you want to unseat President Weah. How are you doing it?
Well, I have a slightly different view from many people on the issue of the sanction.
Okay.
I believe that the sanction, I don't believe that there's going to be more sanction. I believe that, contrary to what many people believe, that the president is not aware of the sanction. I think he was informed way ahead of time. I believe that the sanction is intended deliberately to push the president to do certain things. And I believe that this sanction, there's no way America can come to somebody else's country and sanction what I would call the most important government official in the country without the prior knowledge of the government. If it is true that it is without the prior knowledge of the government, then they mean that this government is finished. I don't believe that it is true. It's not possible. This is not how America run their country. The president is aware that they were going to strike McGill, and he probably agreed to do so. Because as a leader, if they sanction your official yesterday and you suspend that person today, what message sending? Two messages. One of them. One, that you are aware of what the president did. Two, that you accept every allegation that has been levied. So if it was not pre-planned, then what about the fact that they come tomorrow and say he's finance minister? What about the fact that they come and charge every cabinet minister in his government? What if they come and charge himself? What will he do? So I think he's aware. I think he wanted to get rid of McGill. I think that McGill has probably gotten bigger than he could have handled, and that the Americans show him what they have, and he decided, he told them, you guys can't do it.
All right, let me get my first caller here. Let me get a first caller to interact with you, sir. The first caller here is Nelson Yadolo. You are live, brother.
Thank you so much, brother. Good afternoon to my honorable Bility, man, strong Nimba citizen.
Good afternoon, Chief.
Okay, Mr. Bility, this is Nelson Yadolo. I am from the Snow District of Nimba County. I have called on Secretary Radio and made a case for you why we should elect you as a representative.
Thank you.
I have also called you personally. I got your personal number and talk to you. But I want to differ with you on the issue of Elizana Kumi being president of Liberia.
Okay.
I'm a registered CDC member. And I support you in Nimba County because of your numerous contributions you continue to carry out in the county. It is the basis for which people are also elected to public office in the country. Your contribution to your society, your immunity. The road project that you are carrying on all over in district number 7 are enough reason for the people to elect you to represent them. So are you trying to tell me this afternoon that what Georgia is doing in Liberia, the road is building from Ganta to Loguato, from Ganta going to Secretary, and all around the country, and even in the capital, Monrovia, are they not sufficient for Liberian people to vote for him? And you talk about Elizana Kumi? First of all, Elizana Kumi gets no constituency in Liberia. In the United States, all the two political parties get various states. They get red state for the Republican, blue state for the Democrat. Those states that do not belong to a particular party, they call them swing states. In Liberia, Elizana Kumi gets no bid.
Thank you.
So I don't know how you're going to make him president of Liberia. I support you as a president of Nimba County, who has done numerous contributions to the country and who is doing so many contributions. I support you. I will campaign for you in district number 7 Nimba. But your Elizana Kumi campaign is just zero. You're not going to go anywhere, brother.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's go to our next caller here. That's Mr. Bility, just jot them down.
Yeah.
Four callers here. Let's go to Opa Ansu Dualo.
Hey, John, how you doing, man? Thank you so much for taking my call. Mr. Bility, it's a pleasure having you, sir. But I hope you answer my question directly. Whenever a politician makes a moral argument, I get excited because that's the kind of arguments we should be making. But Mr. Bility, Liberians believe in a particular character. For example, when it comes to society. For example, when it comes to provisional lifting. For example, when you have your counterparts that you went into business with at the free port of Monrovia, they believe they've been swindled by you. How can you contrast that, your character, when it comes to business and illegal dealings across the country, that you can make a good politician in Liberia? Thank you so much. Have a great day, sir.
Mr. Dualo, before you go, you say illegal dealing, tinted character. What are you speaking from?
Well, first of all, Mr. Bility has been accused on several occasions. For example, he owes the Liberian government a lot of money when it comes to taxes. He's not paid those taxes. He doesn't comment on those issues. Now, whether he can justify it or not is up to him. The government needs their taxes. For example, he went into contract with contractors, foreigners that came to the country to bring jobs in the country. They feel they've been swindled by Mr. Bility. Okay? There are several reports, especially with the FIFA issue. Mr. Bility sometimes uses the court to circumvent the law in Liberia because he has connections in his court system. Now, these all allegations of Mr. Bility, does he have a justification for them? That's the question to him.
Thank you. Thank you. Let me take our next caller here. That's Aliyu Kamara. Aliyu, this is Nimba issue. You're from Lofa. What are you going to do? Anyway, go ahead.
Hey, Lofa, Nimba, Bility, Kamara. That one, one full man, I wasn't killing, right? That full man killing. You understand?
Go ahead.
Yeah, you are a Bible man. You know Musa is the same as Moses, right? And you know the kind of the whole biblical story. You know everything about Moses are yo-yo, right? Until you end up dying in the mountain, right? I have my people looking. You came from there. And before I ask you my question, let me just tell you this. Today is the 29th of August, 2022. People of Musa Bility and Alexander Coming will have a fight. You will wonder. The men are no nonsense now. The men Alexander Coming, they will chakra. You will wonder. You will say, Aliyu said this or this day. But let me just ask him a couple of things. This thing that he's doing in the market is very, very wonderful. But some Nimbayan are apprehensive. They are stating that Musa Bility, all along, he was hanging with the big guys, the president, and everything. It never really invested into Nimba County. Now that he wants to be a representative, or he's looking for ways to give Arizona Coming some sort of recognition, now he has bought lots of yellow machines, and then he's carrying out development. Some people call it quasi development. Another thing is, he said that people in Nimba, in his district, they are mostly involved in trade and agriculture. Yes, building roads for them is a very good gesture. But the question is, why did Musa Bility decide to invest in radio station as opposed to investing in mechanized farming to help his people if his intention was really to help them? You know what I'm saying? I can't talk much on the Liberty Party issue because we already know they're going to be in court in the next few days. But thank you so much. I'm watching.
Thank you, Mr. Kamara. Mr. Bility, ladies and gentlemen, those are three of your callers here. And Mr. Bility, when you back, so you can respond to those calls. All right, yeah. Mr. Bility, you have three people calling. Melison Yatolo say he supports you, but not Mr. Cummins, because he's, of course, his decision, and said if the same road project you were doing, and that's why he's supporting you, Mr. Weah is doing the same thing. So why Cummins instead of Weah? Ansu Dualu say he quoted as saying you owe taxes, you have tainted character, you have all kinds of things, you swindle people and all that. So those were the charges. And Aliyu said he's expecting you and Mr. Cummins to fight because you are no nonsense man. And he went. I think you heard the rest that he said that if the people of District Number 7 are traders and agricultural people, why did you invest in radio station instead of investing in those areas? You know, that will improve the lives of your people, but you waited until you're running for election. Now that's the time you are doing these things. Your comment, sir.
So my brother and supporter from Nimba, that's the beauty of democracy. He's taking one step. It's my job to convince him to take the next step. And I respect his view. I respect his decision, and that's our democracy. That's why the ballot was split in three sections. You have the representative, you got the senator, you got the president. But our job, my job, is not just to canvass for myself, but to canvass for the president that I believe will make my job easy. So I respect him and I appreciate him that he will come openly to make that. That's the kind of society that I want to be part of. That's what I love to be part of. And I really thank him and I appreciate him for that. you know, the guy who called about tax and swindling, you know, man, come on. What he's talking about? You don't just call and spew rubbish on public space. Which one? You asking a very specific question. Which one? You can't. No, Dennis, it's very easy for me to get on the radio to say stuff about you. But unfortunately, I guess that's the price we pay for freedom of speech. I guess being a public official, somebody can sit down and tell you rubbish. But he said nothing. He said nothing. Me and nobody has been to, I've never been into court with any individual in my life. So I've never won a court case as of the player I'm sitting down. I've never won a court case against anybody. Any individual. So where you coming from say, I used to, so, you know, when people talk, they talk, you know, rubbish, and then we have to sit down here and deal with it. But I guess that's what democracy is. So what he's talking, I'm opposed to this government. I want to remove this government from office. You think that if I have tax issue, they will not come after me? Are they crazy? I say Alice Comey is a better president, can make a better president than Joe we are. Why they can come after me for tax business if I have tax business? I mean, what kind of people, what sense do these people use? So how does that make sense to anybody in this world? I'm here. You know what the people not used to, NS? I'm on Liberian. Okay. But they don't used to Liberian owing money. It's strange for a Liberian to take 1 million, 2 million to buy something to go and develop his place. They're not used to it. It's very strange in our country. If you do it,
Mr. Bility, you have all that money?
Yes, I work for it. I've worked for 30 years of my life. My company that I own is worth at least $80 to $100 million. You know, I have a company that is bigger than FPRC. So you mean I'm not like some of them who take all the money. I have no account. My account in the United States does not carry at any time more than $10,000, $15,000. I use my account in the United States to take care of my children on a monthly basis. Nothing else. Everything I own belongs in this country. Everything. But I'm proud. If the government felt that I owe them, they see me investing in opposition need. Where were they? They seen people. Where were they when I bought 70 vehicles for Charles Bronski campaign? This is the same Musa Bility. We have not even started yet. We will put everything that we have, resources we have available in order to liberate this country. Some of them went and took gun and bought gun to fight. We'll not do so. We'll use our wealth to change the way the country. And also, we talk about Nimba. He's not from Nimba. He doesn't know my involvement in Nimba. I have been involved in Nimba for the last 12 years. I'm not blowing my own trumpet. I single-handedly financed the land dispute committee 100%. When I chaired that committee, I financed it.
That was in Ganta.
Yes. No, the one in Nimba. It was based in Secretary.
Oh, yeah, the one that President Salif appointed.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, but how did that come? How did that end now? Because we
did our work. We did our work. We did our work. We brought the work to the president. The president received it. 95% of the land dispute we resolve today remain resolved. Only in Ghana where an individual for commercial reason. But I'm proud of that. I did that over 12 years ago. And guess what, Dennis? Nimba County had not gotten the county meet for 25 years before 2010. I took over the county and took the county to the county meet. But I didn't do that because I was running. So they don't know what they are talking. I've been involved in my county. I've been involved in my country throughout. This is where I was born. The last person talk about me and Alexander Cummings will fight. Let me say this for the record. I, Musa Hassan Bility, will never fight with Alexander Cummings. Never.
Thank you.
Everything that I have to fight for with Alexander Cummings has passed. And I thank Almighty God for that. Those who wanted to see that fight, had the opportunity.
Right.
They missed it.
Was it during that time of the memorandum?
Well, everything. Those were the storm. We overcome it. We have an idea of who we are and what we stand for. And we agree that everything we do will be for the sake of Liberia.
Let me take one more call, Mr. Bility. And because before I forget, I also want
to... But I want to make it very, very clear. I will not fight with Alexander Cummings.
Okay.
There will be no time I will fight with him.
Good. And you were... Let me bring in one more caller here. That's Leo Nepulu Johnson is from Canada. Leo, you are live.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jah, for having me, and it's great to hear you, Chairman Musa Bility. I just have a very interesting question here. I've been very troubled by the fact that, especially recently, but for a very long time, with the militant nature of our young people in getting involved in politics in Liberia, which has been carried out by all parties, including the ANC, the Liberty Party, CDC, United Party, all the parties as far as I'm concerned. I'm yet to hear any major leader, whether a chairman or a political leader of any party, coming out to say this is wrong, that this militant form of engagement of our young people into politics does not mean well, and to kind of distance themselves from it, that we should be training our young people to be the next best readers, writers, policy wonks, debaters, and the rest of it, rather than having them wearing khakis and singing military jargons and being used to instigate. Can you clearly tell us what is your position on the issue overwhelmingly that we are seeing now causing too much problem of young people in all of these parties being regarded as party militants, as we've seen across the board?
Thank you, Leo. And let me welcome Mr. Ansoni Sia. He does the politics on this show. I'm only holding the ground here. Mr. Sia, welcome to the show.
Dennis, thank you. Chairman Bility, it's good to see you. How you doing?
Thank you, Chief. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing fine.
So you heard from Mr. Leo Nepulu Johnson say everywhere you see khaki, Sao militancy.
Yes, I agree with I agree with him. And I also agree that we are all guilty. But we have decided we'll take special steps to demilitarize, even in the clothing, the wear, and everything, our campaign. I agree. It is wrong. It should not be supported, and we should desist from it. And I promise you that CPP will not militarize its campaign activity.
And Chairman Bility, if I may add to that, the chanting of slogans as political events, I'm not saying it's bad, but I think the way it's been done, makes it bad. I'm from the traditional settings, I know when our people speaking, before the chief speaks, the priest will come, somebody will blow the floor, and then they will say something, and then the chief will speak. That's our tradition. It's beautiful. But the way this one is done, the speaker is speaking, they will just interrupt. By the time you get 2 words out, they will interrupt. So you are leaders. I think it should be there, but it should be minimized. Maybe before the person speak, and then let the person in, and you can come in. But the way it's being done, it's too much.
It's not only, it's annoying.
Yeah.
Really annoying.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree with you. And what you just brought tells us how we
have drifted.
How we allow wrong to become right over a period of time. The stage is not the place to correct this, but as leaders, we should observe and deal with it after the program so that it doesn't happen the next time.
Exactly.
I was not thinking about this, but I think you are right. I go to
what I can be sensitive.
And you go there, then you say something, they just jump in the middle, and you have to wait. And for some of us, like myself, I speak extemporaneously.
Yeah.
It gives me a hard time because then I lose my flow.
Yeah, it can disrupt your thoughts.
Yeah. You disrupt my thought process, then I have to struggle to regain what I was saying.
Right.
Yes.
And sometimes I feel that you leaders, because you need the young people, and you don't want to be seen as shutting them down. And so you say,
Yes.
well, let them do their thing. But sometimes I sense
No,
the
but
so you people need to look at that.
We show behind the scene before the program to set the stage on how this thing can be done.
Right.
Yes.
All right. Let me get one more caller here. That's Tony Leeway. Tony is from Nimba County also. Tony, you're live. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you so much, Mr. Moderator. I just have a few questions for Mr. Bility. I am a little concerned. Of late, and from the LA's government, his name has been involved in corruption here and there. I think one of the first major corruption issue I heard of him or about him was the Japanese oil fund that were given to his company, or one of the companies that he owned, to sell the oil and provide the funding to the government. I'm not sure how that case ended. I think they went to court for it. Another issue that I have that I wanted to ask him is what happened to the issue he had with FIFA regarding investing or stealing FIFA funds, to which he was reprimanded, and I'm not sure how that case has also been adjudicated, if it has been adjudicated. Another question, in addition to that, what moral compact does it bring to the leadership giving his colorful records that has to do with all of these corruption things that has been lingering around him? And I wanted to respond to Mr. Leo Mulba's comment regarding the militancy of groups in Liberia. I think one of the only politicians who has spoken against that clearly has been Goglo, who has declared that this is not, it is not a good thing for our government, it's not a good thing for our country, our society. And some of us have been writing about this and speaking about this for a long time, when even during Ellen's time, the Sabu boys of CDC were demonstrating and carrying caskets and so forth, and their behavior was very reckless. I recall vividly when he was being protected, when they were protecting Mr. McGee at a hotel where he was staying prior to taking over the government when they won the election. So these things are very dangerous for our society, and all of us need to speak out. But I need Mr. Bility to tell us why is he contesting giving these colorful records that he has accumulated. Because I'm sure that he has knowledge of what has happened.
Mr. Leeway, let me ask you before you go, when you say these colorful records, do you mean allegations or convictions?
Well, I'm not sure how the cases have ended, so I want you to explain to the public what has transpired, because these are issues that has created some thing on his name, and given that he's running for a representative position, which is literally a position that requires.
I get your point. I get your point, but when you are in the public, there are always allegations. So you are saying, are you holding him responsible for allegations, or you wanting to clarify if you were convicted, but you say you don't know how these things ended? I just want to be clear.
So what I'm asking him is to give us an explanation or some clarity as to what transpired with FIFA money and the oil money from the Japanese oil fund.
Thank you. Mr. Bility.
So the man is talking about colorful record, and he's adding more color to it. Okay, he comes here and talk complete rubbish. I had nothing, zero connection with Japanese oil business. I was never accused of it. I never went to court. My company deliberately made a decision not to be a part of it. And here comes someone who takes the phone and make a call and says something that somebody else will take tomorrow and say, oh, in addition to this, they say he borrowed Japanese record. So he's adding more color, and then he asking me to be responsible for people like him that are saying all these things against people, and then that should determine whether or not I should serve my people. I don't accept that. He has said nothing. He was not listening to the program. I'm not going to repeat myself. I think you and I spent substantial time, and we went through the FIFA issue. I went through it. So I will not, if you want to listen to it, you can come back to listen to it. But on the issue of saying to me that my colorful, really, maybe I have colorful personality, but I have not done anything wrong in my country. Nothing. I've never been convicted in this country. I am proud to be doing business and making money and spending the money the way I want to spend it. And I will do that. I will not get tired doing that. And I will do that to help my people. And if he wants to do this thing, he can go do it. But you don't just come and as you answer to this kind of rubbish, talking about Japanese, the guy just lied. There is zero connection to me and Japanese. But he said there, if the people that are listening to him right now, they are under the assumption that he has maybe gone across an allegation of Japanese oil business. This is the first allegation on the Japanese oil business that I've heard. I know that there was a company went to the court and the government lost the case against that company. Nothing to do with me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We got one more caller, but as soon as go ahead.
You did not respond to the FIFA question, though.
Yeah, we discussed it already.
It's not my responsibility for you not to have come on air to listen. You can go back to this tape after the program and you will hear the response. But people cannot be acting like that and then we'll sit down and allow you to do that. You can't sit down and come on air and say things about me that you know will hurt me, but you did not even do research.
Thank you.
And then I'm going to have to answer, in addition to part of the nonsense I'm still answering, a Japanese oil issue. Why?
All right. No,
thank you.
I can't answer nothing from you because your premise is wrong. So everything you're answering to me is wrong, it's annoying and wrong. And I have the right to do that.
Mr. Bility, I want to
answer your questions.
Mr. Bility, I want to follow up on the answer you provided when Danny asked you.
Yes, sir.
I think you are responding to you said that the CDC, if at all, you had all I think that was Dualu, Ansel Dualu, who asked then, who said then that you owe the Liberian government money in taxes. And you said that if you had owed the Liberian government money in taxes, the CDC government would have gone after you for the main fact that you are campaigning against the CDC or President Weah, you want to see him unseated. That would be a reason for them to go after you and demand that money or make you to pay that money. So you are saying, so to that I ask this question. The CDC has a record of not going after people, either accused, either captured in other report, and you know that for a fact. For example, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, she admitted that there were corruption in her government. We heard the most talk about NOCAD and many others. The CDC, we are not sure if the CDC have even audited the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf administration, so the CDC has that record. Almost so, you are a friend of President Weah, from what I know, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, you having to be your friend in some way. And just as we are now became friend to Ellen Johnson Sirleaf somehow, and because of that, he's now going after her and her sons. Why can that be a reason for the CDC now going after you?
It could be. I can't deny that. As I'm saying to you, that I do not have any tax issue with this government. From the time George Weah became president of Liberia up to where I'm sitting now, I've never conducted any business with this government. I've gone and done my business. All of Liberia charges, I sell fuel oil. I sell gasoline and fuel oil. That's my business. Every week you sell, the following week you pay. My company has been operating like that from the time this government came to play. I got zero issue with this government.
Thank you. Let me follow up Dennis quickly on something.
And I would like to put a challenge out there for everybody to bring any record that I got issue with this government.
Yeah, and Mr. Bility, saying you are your company, one of your companies is in the oil business in Liberia. This
Sumex,
report
only one company.
yeah. So you know the industry. This
Yeah.
serious report that came from APRC that
Yeah.
about I think about 1.5 billion gallon of diesel fuel that just disappear. You hear a lot of things, because of your position. Anything you wish to share that might be true to this allegation or that report that came
On
out?
the loss of fuel in APRC company, zero impact. And I'm not in a position to call other people company in this public space. But my company, Sumex, being a politician, we don't get involved into those. Whatever relationship we have with APRC is mutual, it's respectable, and it's current. So we don't. I don't get involved into a few tech. I think you are talking about what happened. I think 3-4 months ago, right? There was some report out that fuel were lost or something. No, I don't get involved into that. I have my own terminal, by the way.
Okay.
So I am the only company in Liberia, Mail Connects, that have their own private terminal. So I don't store with FPRC. So we don't have, that issue of fuel loss and stuff like that.
Thank you. Let me get my
I
last
think those report were, exaggerated, but I guess
let me get my last caller, and that's Mr. Leo Johnson. Leo, you are back.
The record straight on the fellow who spoke about Councillor Tiawon Gonglo. You see, we can't be holding our politicians accountable when they're on public shows and people be selective. How can you say Councillor Gonglo is the only person who has spoken against the militant nature of our youth and politics in Liberia when he's supposed to at the same time? Which I believe, again, I'm not against protests, I'm not against standing up, but let's not be selective here. Councillor Gonglo, all of our politicians, none of them have taken any real actions. When you're pushing SOUP and supporting SOUP to continue the same nature of militancy, we can understand when it was done in the 60s and 70s in politics against colonialism at the time. It doesn't make sense in this day and era that we aim to continuously, if you support SOUP, how come you're not supporting them to set up study classes or supporting them to set up political boot camps to help support young people? So whoever called and tried to separate Councillor Gonglo from this is unfair to say that. I think this is something all of our politicians are falling short of, and I want to applaud Honorable Musa Bility for being forthright about it, that this is something we must be vocal about and start to show that it is not the right way to go about things. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, that's the we are bringing down the phone lines now, so has to Mr. Sia, if you have
I have two questions for Chairman Bility. Chairman Bility, in the now new revised framework document, you talk about 30% for women legislative participation. Why is that important? And what number of seats constitute 30%? And how are you going to enforce that?
No, we enforce it. No question. We enforce it. No question. It will be enforced. We're already ensuring that we intend to do more than that number, but at least the minimum we're doing. You see the number of women. You see the number of women.
What you're doing there is you're not creating competition, because our women can compete. And if you want to allow 30% to them, in my opinion, that is even unfair. What I think is to create a level playing field for them to compete, but giving them 30% out of the door. I mean, are you think they're so weak that you need to give them some hand out here, and even that hand out is not 50%?
It's easy for us to be for to romanticize the issue, so we can say the fact is that politics in Liberia is male dominated until Ellen Johnson became president. It's male dominated. If at some point in our history, women were not even allowed to vote. So at the end of the day, we move on that point. If you look at the number of people who want to run. Look at today in Liberia. We're going for election. Have you seen, I mean, the number of women that want to be president, I think, compared to the number of men, that tells you something. So at the end of the day, what we're saying is that there are potential, credible, respectable, and hardworking women out there that have not shown interest in politics. And we need to bring them on board so that they can show interest, because the real change comes from women. We know that, that's fact. So we want to encourage them, not from a disadvantageous point of view. We know the quality is there. We're not going to bring women and school them, but they educated, independent, and hardworking. Just that most of them don't have interest. So we're taking the issue to them and say, hey, you got to be part of this change. You got to be part of this process. And if we have more women than men, so be it.
Thank you, Mr. Bility. We're going to take a short break for 40 seconds. When we come back, we'll ask for your closing comments. I like this song.
Our country, sweet Mandela, our country, that God gave all this country. Fellow Labyrinth, that God gave all this country. We are calling on everyone here to come and pray for this country, Labyrinth, God gave all this country.
That's God who gave us this country, Liberia. This is our country, and this is the country we love. And that's why we are here to talk Liberia. Mr. C, let's conclude, and then we get Mr. Bility to give his concluding comments.
Yeah, I don't know if you advertised it earlier. Tomorrow on the Hour of Politics, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 12 noon Central Time, and 5 p.m. GMT on the Hour of Politics. I will be having Victoria, who is a 2023 senatorial aspirant, I believe, from Monserrado County. And we'll also talk about a new CPP revised framework document. She is the Deputy Vice Chair for Political and International Affairs from the opposition ANC. We'll be here, and don't miss it. I got some biting questions for her.
Mr. Bility, thank you so much for accepting to be on the show today. We really appreciate your time. Now, as we wind this down, let me get your parting comments.
No, thank you. It's always a pleasure to be here. Our job is to push our message. The election of Mr. Cummins, the CPP, is the drive to change our country, and we are determined to do so. In the next 30 days, 60 days, you will see a new CPP. We are launching the new CPP. You see a lot of activity inside and outside Liberia. We'll bring Liberians outside to come in and vote, and then we will push for the implementation of the constitutional provision that call for a ballot to be sent to all Liberians in the parts of the world where it is safe and credible, so that our nations, our Liberian brothers and sisters can vote and decide who governs their country. So thank you. It's always a pleasure to be on this show.
We also want to thank you and thank our viewers for staying with us. Keep it here at Focus on Liberia, where we educate, we elevate, and promote all things Liberia. Until then, we end with our closing song that says, "We are all Liberians." Whether you support Mr. Bility, Mr. Cummins, Mr. Weah, Mr. Boakai, or even me, we are all Liberians, and let us do whatever it takes to make our country the glorious land of liberty. Have a good day.
We are Liberians. Liberia is our home. Liberian people.